Writing a book is no joke, and I've written quite a few now. So many. Yes!
Yes.
And every time I write a new one, I learn something new. But I always go back to the first time I ever wrote a book, and there were so many things I didn't know. So these are 7 things that I wish I knew before I wrote my first book. First off, please ignore the clothes right here. I am getting ready in a minute. I should be getting ready now for my sister's graduation, but I didn't want all the clothes to get, where are they? All folded. So ignore them, please. Thank you. Of course, a little disclaimer, writing a book is going to be different for everyone. These are things that I didn't know before I wrote my first book, but you may very well know. Yeah, it's all subjective, but I hope you find this video useful. And if you have any more video ideas, questions, blah, 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 hit me up. But if you don't know my face, my name's Bill Wood. I'm the author of Let's Split Up and the upcoming Be Right Back. And this is my AuthorTube channel where I post kind of weekly about my journey, author stuff, writer stuff, book stuff, anything in between, and anything you guys want to see. That was a lot of words, but let's just get on with this video. Number 1, your first book is going to be dog shit. Of course, there's going to be exceptions for like the divine few, but for most people, their first book or their first draft of a book is not going to be good. I think it's really easy to compare yourself to other authors, but if you think the books that you're reading by other authors, they've gone through at least 5 drafts, not more, because they have rounds of edits, then they have copy edits, line edits, then they have proofreads. They go through so much, so you're not seeing anywhere near the first draft. Of course, it's natural to compare yourself to other writers, but just keep in mind that I think if you're reading a lot, which you should be, if you are an author or want a writer or anything in between, you should be reading in your genre because it's just going to make you a better writer. You're going to see like what works in that sort of book, and it's going to help you a lot. And yeah, I don't think I'd be here if I wasn't a reader first. But yeah, your first book is not going to be great unless you're like some genius. You're going to struggle with like character stuff, pacing, structure. It's something that you need to work out, and every book you write is going to get better, and then maybe one day you'll have a perfect first draft. You still won't, but maybe you'll get closer to that. But I'm rambling, but you know what I mean. Number 2 is don't edit while you write. This works for some people, but for me, I use it as like a mechanism to procrastinate. Every so often now, I will edit while I write, but if I am like drafting a 90,000 word novel, which is like normal for me at the moment, I cannot edit while I write anymore because I will just sit there and edit, and then not get on with the story. And especially if you're wanting to crank out your first book, I think it's just a lot more better for your time and more, what's the word, time efficient, I guess, just to bang it out and then edit afterwards. Because even if editing while you write makes a cleaner first draft, it doesn't really matter because you're going to have to edit it anyway. Number 3, it is very normal to feel unmotivated, especially when you look at your word count and you say you've got a goal of 90,000 words and then you realize you've got 40,000 left. That's really daunting. I think that it's really hard to visualize, and yeah, it's scary. And when I felt unmotivated and I wish I knew, write a scene you're excited about. Obviously, this is going to be a lot easier if you're more of a plotter, but sometimes I feel like even if you're not a plotter, when I was more of a pantser, I still knew like how I wanted certain scenes to go, and I wish I'd just skip to those scenes to get me motivated and excited to write again, because then you can just slot it in when the time comes. Which kind of leads on to number 4, which is outlining. This is a very hot topic. I know I was on both sides of the pond. I still pants a little bit. I think outlining is great if you're wanting to get something done in a timely manner because it's all plotted out for you. And when you are, or if your goal is to be a traditionally published author, you kind of do have to outline. I was forced to it, and now I enjoy outlining because editors, higher ups, blah 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 blah, they have to like kind of agree to what your story is going to be when you sign more books or sequels. So I think it's a good thing to learn. Obviously, it's not for everyone, and that's fine because writing is so different, it's so individual. But even if you're not outlining, if you have like a kind of brief idea for where the story's going to go, it really helps you visualize and make sure you can stay on track, because you can be excited about scenes that are coming up, or you can just have like a general vague direction for how you want characters to act so they have like a nice arc. Number 5, is it number 5? I think so. Beta readers are super duper important. I remember my first book, I finished it and then I was like, this is bad, and I just scrapped it. And I should have gone to like the beta reader section afterwards. I wish I knew that. I wasn't super in tune with the whole everything back then, all the social media stuff. But yeah, beta readers are so great. Again, be cautious because there's definitely people who are a bit nefarious, but most people are absolutely lovely. If you can get into a writing group and get peer feedback, it is incredible. But also, if you join a writing group, don't just be super transactional and wait for people to like review your stuff, but then you don't do anything to theirs, because that's just going to get you kicked out and you're an asshole. So beta readers are amazing if you can find a great group of friends. There, it's amazing, especially if you know they can be critical, but in a nice way. Family and friends are great beta readers as well, but there's going to be an element of like niceness. Like whenever I show my mom my stuff, and she's normally one of the first people to read my books, and she's never negative about anything. And of course, she's not going to be. She doesn't want to hurt my feelings. So if you can find people who are going to give you that constructive criticism, do it. Again, be kind and read their stuff as well. There's so many places out there, Twitter, Instagram, even TikTok. There's people looking everywhere for stuff now. So keep an eye out and I'm sure you'll find something. Number 6, something that I'm still dealing with today, and I wish I knew it back then, is imposter syndrome never goes away. I got it when my first book came out. I got it when I self-published a book, and I still get it last week. It never goes away. I think you're always going to compare yourself to someone, especially if they're more successful. Last week, I chaired an event for Holly Jackson of all people, and I felt so out of place. She's absolutely lovely. Like, she did nothing wrong, but it's just inevitable. It's going to happen. Even when I've been at events where maybe authors have sold less than me or blah, 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 but I know that they're better writers than me, objectively, you know? It's never going to go away. It's just human instinct to compare yourself, and that's fine. And try not to get so down about it. I very much do still, and you can't help it. But yes, especially when you finish a first draft and then you read it back and compare it to the book you just last read, you're going to feel that imposter syndrome again. You're going to be like, oh, I can't be an author. But again, remember, it links back to the first one. Your first draft's not going to be good. You're going to compare yourself to a book that's been through like 10 drafts. So it's a completely different experience, and try to remember that, even though your mind is like contradicting you, you know? And then the final one is a little bit cheesy, but just have fun with it. Writing is supposed to be joyful. It is a hobby for most people, and for some, luckily, it becomes their job, but then it kind of becomes a different entity. Like for me, it's really hard to read for fun now. I'm definitely trying to get better at it and make time for it, but have fun with it. If it's not coming for you, or if you're writing and you're stuck, take a break, read, play a game, get inspired, even go to an author event. I think author events are so useful for getting inspired to write again. I went to so many author events which kickstarted my writing journey again, and they're so useful. Have a look on your local Waterstones website if you're in the UK, Barnes and Noble, blah blah blah. There's events going on all the time, and if you're near a city, I bet you there is an event going on right now. Or go pick up a new book in your genre, and then after you've read it, read the acknowledgements. I find acknowledgements so inspiring. I love seeing who people worked with, and then seeing their journey, especially if they've like a little anecdote or something. Mine normally do as well. I think it's just a great way to kind of break up the writing, but then you just feel even more energized when you get back into it. So those are 7 things I wish I knew, and wish I kind of still have to remind myself, even now, as like an author of nearly 2 published books, well, more, but some were self-published, 2 traditionally published books. But I hope they're helpful. I hope they get you inspired, and I hope you are able to finish a first book. And if you do, woohoo, you did it. That's the hard part. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, click the bell. Is the bell still there? I think it is. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm Bill Wood. You can pre-order my book Let's Split Up in the US at the moment, which comes out this September, and you get this really cool sprayed edge. Pretty cool, if I do say so myself. Yes! Yes! Do I say anything else? I don't think I say anything else. If you want to see any more videos, let me know what you want to see. There we go. Bye.